Greetings, fam. I just got in 5 hours of non-stop planting. I'll link to all relevant videos down below. So the 14 trays that I have started on 4-5 have all been planted into this side, and I left these last little transplants just to show, because nothing's really growing right now. So if I didn't leave these out of the ground, then you wouldn't really be able to tell what's going on. So row of Swiss chard, row of Swiss chard. I may interplant down the middle, but I also may just leave a pathway so I can come up the middle and harvest. And now that I actually have a whole bunch of space, I'm giving them the space that they need. And from a farm that I worked on last year, they put them 16 inches apart, and I've never seen kale or Swiss chard that big in my life. So we're going for 16-inch spacing. You could put them together a lot closer than that, but I'm just doing some experimenting. And then you can see the onions. So we got like 500 onions in the ground right there. And then it's kohlrabi, lettuce, and then the rest of this row is 2 rows of kale. It might not make sense because you can't see anything, but hopefully here you can see these lettuce because they're green. Right there. But hopefully they all grow very well, and you'll be able to see what's going on in like a month. Now, an observation that I also made or identified, garlic is coming up really nice. I didn't show this in the last video either, but the peas that I planted back in March, I'll link to the video down below, are also coming up very nice. So peas, garlic, onions, kohlrabi, lettuce, more lettuce, kale, more garlic, and now a whole row of Swiss chard. So make sure you're subscribed, because I'm going to take a break over the next 2 weeks, and I'll be back in mid-May for a scythe pasture update and a warm weather crop update. Now, that observation that I made is, while I was planting all of these seedlings, I identified the Asian jumping worm, which is an invasive worm that lives off of plant roots and all the nutrients in the soil, and they're very active worm. I've came across some practices that can be done to prevent damage against the Asian jumping worm. I'm not educated enough on it to reiterate it in this video, but I understand it and know it inside my head, and I still need to do a little bit more research before I move forward with an action. But all of this may not grow good at all because of those worms, and that would be really sad. But that's the farm right now. So just for, and now that I actually have an idea of how much one row can take, it's about, well, at the 16-inch spacing, it's about 2 trays, so 100 soil blocks to go down. At the lettuce spacing, you could probably fit 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. Anywhere's from like, you could probably almost fit 10 trays, 10, 50 trays of lettuce at 5-row spacing, about 4 inches apart from each other. So you could fit a lot of food in the rest of these rows. And I just got to work on getting those seeds started. Got to plant the rest of these. It's the end of the leaf day right now, so I got to jump on that. And then I got all the peppers and the warm loving crops. And here from the living room. That's a big transition. It's always the hardest one, getting them from the living room in the truck and then up the road into the greenhouse. But the peppers and eggplant will stay in here for a few more weeks, just to make sure that no hard frost or freezes are gonna come, and let the soil warm up outside. We're pushing 89 in here, 89 and 40% humidity with with both ends open. So they're loving it in here. And yeah, that's my documentation for today. So it's amazing that it's finally here and things are being planted, but at the same time, not too keen on that Asian jumping worm, and we'll just have to see what happens as time evolves. And the soil is still very, very cold, and we're still at not, we still have like 3 hours before, 3 more hours for our days to be at their longest. I think we're only at like between 11 and 12 right now. We still go all the way up to 15-hour days. So things are still growing a little bit slowly right now, but they're just gonna get quicker and quicker and quicker as the days go on. So let me stop talking, plant that Swiss chard, and we'll see you on the next one. One Love Wholeness. Stay tuned for more farm updates and Asian jumping worm updates.